as well to help against those lurkers. 3 bases up there for Shine. Bisu sticking on these 2, and seems like he's going to want to expand just to his mineral. I think that's enough for him so far tech-wise. He's going to want to get some of these high Templars out there as well. They also really help against lurkers. Then if Shine tries to go for some heavy assaults, that's going to be a big help. Has an Archon out there, of all things. Actually, a little bit surprised. Probe goes down. Zealot instantly killed for revenge, but overall not too perfect. Observatory additional gateways on the way. Bisu going to be forced to play a little bit defensively right here. Hydra's on the way, Lurkers on the way as well. Might actually be locked in a little bit in zone of his own base. We'll get his observers out fairly soon, but those Lurkers out there with the Hydra support, the Zealots by themselves, not going to be able to do too much. Has an Archon in there as well. I'm not quite sure how big of a help that's going to be either. Going to be forced to run back all the way with these Zealots. Has a few of those Corsairs out there hoping to go out and catch a few Overlords. And actually going to completely ignore that one single lurker outside of his base. It's slowly, bit by bit, taking down that forge. And I think Shine's actually preparing himself for an attack. 2 lurkers, bunch of Hydras, 1 High Templar! Oh, bad. High Templar instantly goes down. 1 other High Templar back home. Not enough energy for a storm yet. Cannon's going to go down. Hydra's penetrating all the way. Where Bisu's defensive forces ran out. I'm not quite sure where they are at the moment. Seems like just now running back. Zealots and Archons are going to be forced to try to do as much damage as possible. Has an Observer in there, though. So this attack gets shut down very quickly. Bisu, the Archon, just splashing everything away. Nice. Actually going to lose that. Almost losing that last Corsair. I'm not quite sure where they actually got any Overlords out there, but at the very least managing to defend the attack back home. Losing that one single High Templar. That's bad. Going to be forced to get as many cannons up as possible. Again, but Shine's just going to push it. He knows he's found a weakness. He's found a weakness. He's going to be able to push it. Bisu trying to expand right now. I think that's going to get taken down as well. Only a few Zealots and Archon and a couple of observers, and that's just not going to be enough. All of those Hydras out there. Bisu going to try to defend the big ramp and defend his 3rd, but I really think effect that's going to be one single storm getting off, damaging some of those Hydras, but overall he just doesn't have enough forces to really fight these Hydras off. I think Shine, even more reinforcements just ready to come in. This cannon going to be canceled. This entire 3rd base is not going to come up, and I'm not quite sure whether Beast is in the position going to try to run in again yet with these Zealots. Try to force back. Has this High Temple, and they're going to get a nice storm off. Doesn't hit for the full duration, but a lot of Overlords coming in as well. I'm wondering if that's a drop. A lot of these Zealots go down. I actually don't think they're a drop, but a lot of these Hydras do get taken down, so Bisu still stays alive, but Shine ready with reinforcements any minute. He feels like he needs them. Didn't go. Bisu did not go for any Dragoons, and I'm wondering if that's actually smart decision on his part, probably because maybe not quite enough gas. Trying to get some more High Templar out there. He really needs those High Templars out there, of course. In StarCraft 2, High Templars never come out ready to storm, but in StarCraft 2, there is an upgrade that instead of giving them more energy, just lets them start with enough energy for a storm. Here, pushing out all the way across the bridge, trying to come in close to these Hydras, but I really don't think the Zealots are enough of a number. These Hydras are going to be able to just slowly, bit by bit, chug them down. 4 Zealots, barely alive, running back home. And Bisu seems like he's losing all of his defenses. Lurkers also coming in. Has a lot of High Templars back home. Maybe by the time the attack comes, going to have a storm each. Corsair going to spot the big drop that's going to come in, and wondering if Beast is going to have enough to defend this. Could even be a fake out by Shine. Just pretend to drop the main, go for the natural instead, something like that. Bisu desperately needs his 3rd right now, and Shine's still staying on 3 because he knows he's fine with that. The drop seems like he's going to come to the natural, in fact. So, might have been kind of a slight of a pump fake. Going to cancel the full drop. Just going to come in here at the front. That forge is going to go down momentarily. Observers, no! Bisu losing both of his observers. Going to get 1 storm off. He at the very least spotted the lurkers, how the lurkers were positioned. Has a lot of Dragoons out there now, but still not in the perfect position. More lurkers being morphed in right now. Another observer goes down. Nice play here from Shine, using his overlords, to pick off those observers, and Bisu losing all the observers are very bad for him at this point. Just be trying to just hold back. Has some high tempers in there, so he's at least gonna have some storms when the attack comes. I think that's why Shine is kind of hesitating. The position to run into is not really the best. Kind of like Thermopylae right here. 1 storm gonna go off again, not hitting for the full duration. And of course, their players have a pretty good judge these days. 2nd storm, significantly better than the 1st one. A lot of Dragoons getting a lot of fire off on those Hydras, though. So Bisu's holding. He's holding this fairly well. Lurkers are doing more heavy damage than the Hydras. Most of the Hydras at this point have gone down. Some of the Zealots also running in to just engage those Lurkers. At this point, Dragoons just engaging them away as well. Still has some High Templars back home. More Hydras going to be pushing in, and it seems like Shines is going to be streaming in Hydras like crazy at this point. Is there going to be another storm coming from Bisu? Tempo just standing around there. Zealots and Dragoons desperately trying to force all of this back. He's trying to open up position for himself, but even more Hydras are going to be streaming in. Another nice, decent storm hitting some of the Hydras. Dragoons, of course, do fight fairly well toe-to-toe with Hydras when they really need to. High Templar unfortunately goes down, and I'm not quite sure. Bisu should still have some more back home waiting. I'm not quite sure if he actually lost all of them, but he still should have some of them. Shine trying to desperately just continue getting some forces up. Still has forces outside of Bisu's base ready to attack at any point. Bisu has to be very careful not to overextend himself. Still has those High Templars to defend, so he might actually stay alive for a little bit longer. Miracle as it is, but still a lot of Hydras out there for Shine. I really think he wants to be careful in how he goes for this, because the longer he stays on these 3 bases, the longer he just continues pushing without expanding, without doing anything else but pushing, he'll either A, take Bisu down and win, or B, let Bisu get back into the game, which seems like Bisu is slowly, bit by bit, getting, because he's getting a decent force up, has some High Templar, has some Zealots, has some Dragoons, getting his mineral only up, while Shine's still staying on his 3. Should have gotten his own mineral only up at this Lexicon position ages ago, and the game really was very close to being his. But Bisu pushing out very well, waited for his forces, waited, did not rush it, pushed out the minute he knew he could, because he desperately needed that base. He couldn't have just have waited on those 2 for ages. Lot of, ooh boy, that could be trouble. That's a lot of Mutalisks out there. These High Templar, of course, if Shine managed to pick up all these High Templars, as you do with Mutalisks, that's going to be it. That attack's just not going to be able to be held back by Bisu. He's just not going to be able to hold back all these Hydras. And of course, that was all the rage. What, half a year ago, all of a sudden, PvZ was screamed imbalanced by old Protoss players because the Mutalisks just kept in killing all the High Templar, and therefore winning. Mutalisks now going in here into the main, picking off all the photon cannons. Now the probes are like lambs to the slaughter. Another photon cannon going to go down. Seems like Bisu sending some of his forces out for assault maneuvers and a few forces back. But now look at this. Lower left-hand position completely on the open. So it's just a question of who managed to kill what first. Lower left-hand base is going to be completely picked off. But Bisu's main staying alive. One of his High Templars is storming nothing and dying in the process. But still, those Dragoons helping out, and the Mutalisks not being able to do as much. Well, they picked off a lot of stuff. Picked up a lot of probes, picked up the cannons, decimated the defenses, and might have opened up the position at the front for Shine to attack, while Bisu is actually doing a massive counterattack. He is going to focus down that 3rd. It's not mining too much, so it is some damage done to Bisu, but I still think he has a chance in this. Has a lot of Dragoons here at the back. I think this Nexus will go down. Way too much focus fires from all those Hydras. They're going to be more forced to engage. Mutalisks are going to go down in 1 storm. That could be a critical storm. Another very big storm forcing the Hydras to retreat a little bit more. High Templar, they're just ready with a storm, and Shine desperately trying to reinforce his position. 2 big storms doing some light damage to these Hydras. And I think at this point, actually, Bisu might be able to force it back. Another High Templar coming in. Is there going to be some more storms, more Zealots coming in? And meanwhile, Shine has lost his 3rd, and he GG's. Too much pressure without minding his macro. Too much pressure. Too much not thinking about the long term. So Bisu managed to just completely take advantage of that. 7 wins in the Pro League so far. So Bisu does a very good job. Do see a big resurgence in him, as last season he kind of had a big slump, big falling down. So he's really doing a lot of job. There's that girl who's apparently a huge Bisu fan and said so. It was like a whole video special thing. So yeah, that's all I'm going to bring you guys today. Just because I'm not as excited for all the rest of these games, and that just sometimes happens. Sorry guys if that disappoints you. If you really want to know the results, go to Team Liquid. Go to the teamliquid.net small video thread and either spoil yourselves or go watch all this stuff or whatever you want to do. You know, I don't really care. Soon enough, you're going to be forced to watch some more new material on my site. Some Let's Plays, maybe some other stuff as well. There's actually one game that I've really been addicted to lately that I actually want to make a permanent fixture of my channel other than BroodWar. This does not mean BroodWar is dying. I'm still going to do some MSL, not nearly as much as I used to, simply because partially because time won't let me, and partially because I just don't want to. Really, the last 2 MSL seasons were a exercise in frustration and horror. So anyway, whatever. GG guys, ranching out, that's listening. Hope you enjoyed. They're checking out the replay, but I don't care, so let's shut down now. Shut down now. Shut it down.